Hey everyone, my name is Andy Lally, and I'm going to give you a quick walk around our brand new 2017 Acura NSX. The front of the NSX obviously has a lot of aerodynamic enhancements to one, duct air for cooling for both the radiator and for downforce and for brake cooling. So we've got a gigantic radiator hidden under our protector here up front. It's laid down at about a 40-degree angle, and we just, with the airflow right in the front ducts here, we are actually overcooling this car at Daytona to the point where we're actually going to need to tape up a little bit. That's going to be great, though, when we get to places like Detroit or any of the midsummer races where we could easily see 90 or 100 degrees of ambient temperature. We're seeing these two cooling hoses on each side coming into here. That's for driver comfort stuff. We're going to have one going to a helmet blower and the other just going to a vent, simply blowing air on us. That's the only bit of internal cooling that we have in a completely closed cockpit where we don't have windows that are down or anything like that. On the very sides and very tucked low down in here, which is where this vent is coming from, we're getting our brake cooling done. We have gigantic pads and rotors on here. Our Brembos are hooked up, and that's what helps our Continental tires shut down. You can see right here a really strong shock mount. We run Sachs shocks in the Acura, and we've gotten this car handling really good here around Daytona with their help. Now that we've seen the front of the car, I want to take you to the back. We can pay attention to the sides and how sexy. I'm in love with my own hot rod here. We're vacating the air out of the wheel wells here to make more downforce. We've got a very streamlined side view mirror. I know that might seem a little insane to talk about, but we are trying to clean up the air as much along the side panels as possible, because with this huge intake vent here, we've got our intercooler, our brake duct, which is also for the gearbox cooler, and our air intake all coming to here before we try to clean up the air again to this monster rear wing. As we take a look into our engine bay, we can see a big X-mount cross member here. That's stiffening up the chassis. What we need there is to basically have a lightweight but stiff, extremely rigid piece that helps to tidy this chassis up so that the chassis does not flex and our suspension does all the movement. More of our gearbox cooling vents right over here, and you can get a really good look at our 3.5-liter twin-turbo Acura NSX engine here. We are making a ton of downforce with this rear wing, but some people may not realize that in conjunction with the rear wing, we're going to come all the way to the back and the bottom of the car, and the relation between the big rear wing and this monster diffuser that is cleaning up the air from underneath the car and coming out here, creating a big vacuum here. This wing and this diffuser work hand in hand on every race car. We will move this wing forward, back, up, and down a few millimeters at a time to find the right pocket of air so that this suction here and the low pressure zone is helping suck even more out under here, giving us a really good amount of very clean, low drag downforce created by the floor of this car and the diffuser. Very last thing that you might see at the very tail end of the car is this little hole here, which is basically our rear view camera. It is a camera that is mounted just above the windshield in a place that a normal camera would be mounted in a street car, but this is a really badass piece here. At night, it's got great vision. In the day, it's got a wide field of vision, and it's essentially our second spotter. Our eyes in the sky up top on the roof, that's helping us tell us where the prototypes are coming, where the P cars are coming, where the GTLM cars are coming, and where our other competition in GTD is extremely helpful. But this is our second guide on in there, that at the last second when there's a dive bomb, that camera will catch it and let us know with an arrow each direction which way those guys are going. We've got a beautiful steering wheel in the Acura NSX here. A little complicated, but this is something that we have to know blindfolded every single button on here. So we've come up with codes for us to figure out and remember while we're in the dark or on a quick driver change or under pressure while we're dogfighting with 5 other cars, everything that we need to do here. On top of that, these buttons are our TC map, our ABS, our engine map, our throttle map, and then all the different pages of data that on the dashboard are right here. We can scroll through non-stop. We've got 10 pages of data that we can roll through. To be honest, for the most part, we're going to be sitting on page 4. That's going to be our general data. With telemetry nowadays, all this information, 2,500 plus channels, are heading to pit lane and giving our guys all the information they need. I've got parameters set high and low in the car so that if something comes up, it lets me know if it's wrong, but for the most part, our guys on the stand are monitoring all this stuff. When we come in, as I come down to speed, my hand's down here, I'm downshifting using our paddles here. This is our down, this is our up, this is our hand clutch, right back here. If I have to do a manual drop, if for whatever reason the auto start isn't working, I hold this in, rev it up, drop the clutch, get out of town. As I'm coming down in the pit lane, I'm coming down, and as soon as I get under 60K, there's gonna be a light on the dash. I can hit the pit speed limiter, and then I can go flat to the floor, and it's gonna hold me at 59.9K the whole way down pit lane, so that I'm maximizing every inch without going to the illegal stop and go issue. Thanks for letting me show you around the MSR Acura NSX. We're looking forward to the debut of the first time that this Acura NSX is going to hit the track at Daytona, and we're going to see if we can take on these other manufacturers and kick some butt.